I was born and raised in Newport News, which is just down the road a little ways. And other than 4 years active duty in the Marine Corps, I have lived in pretty close to this area all my life. I've lived over across the York River in Matthews. I've lived in up across the Rappahannock River in Kilmarnock, and then but mostly lived in Newport News, Ward County, and then now in Williamsburg for the. We've been here for be 16 years in May. I remember when Newport News was just a self-contained, beautiful little town. There weren't these strip malls and shopping centers and all of this stuff. And it was from Williamsburg, and Williamsburg was just a wide spot in the road almost. Of course, the college was here, but there wasn't much else here in colonial Williamsburg. Uh, it's amazing just how things have changed around here. I've seen it go change from three-mast schooners going up the York River to what they don't send anything up now, but they used to send steamers. They went from the three-mast schooners to the steamers and so forth. Going from Hampton to Baltimore steamers. Uh, Seen uh, airships, lighter than air, they call them, the dirigibles out at Langley Field. I've seen Langley Field go from the two-wing aircraft to jets, from automobiles going from A models to what we have on the road today. So I've seen an awful lot change and so forth in the last 70 some years. It's amazing just how much it has changed in that relatively short period of time. I do know that remember when they had poll tax. I paid poll tax. Uh, that's the only way I could vote. I think it was it was $1 for a while, and then it went to $2, I believe. But that $2 to a lot of people and uh, some of your ethnic groups, that $2 was an awful lot of money, and they couldn't afford it. So consequently, they didn't have the vote. And this is not right. This is not what this country was built on. I was born and raised in the South, but so what? This is not what the way it should have been or should be. I voted some when I didn't vote when I was in the service. Of course, you couldn't vote until you were 21 then, and I wasn't 21 until a year after I got out. So I didn't have a vote. They sent me to Korea, but I didn't have a vote about it. Uh, they Then when I came home, I didn't really. I paid my poll taxes and everything when I paid my other taxes, but I just wasn't really into voting too much until I guess I probably got into my 50s or so. And then I just got to thinking about it, just like I started off saying that, there's the privilege there of people in this world that just go out and get killed every day trying to vote. And, why in the heck shouldn't I? I have no excuse, no reason whatsoever. So I started voting more regular, and I don't remember much about the process. I know you went in and you got a ballot and you filled the ballot out and I think most of them were just ballot boxes. You dropped it in the ballot box and walked out. Since I started working in the polls, like I said, I've seen a lot of big changes in the procedures and in the process and in the public's attitude. And I just think that, if you're going to live in this country, you need to support this country. And one of the better ways you can support it is through the political process. And, excuse me, through the political process. And one of the best ways to be, you can go work for a candidate. You can uh, do all sorts of things, working, doing campaigns and so forth. But one of the better things I think is working the polls and helping people vote, helping people carry that duty out. And You know, there's a lot of people, just like I said, there's the last presidential election, we had a tremendous amount of people who had never voted before, had never been in a poll in their lives, and they had absolutely no idea what to do when they came in. So, you know, if we didn't have fairly well trained people to lead someone through that process, then they may get discouraged and never vote again. So, so that's what we need to be. We need to be able to. And when you get the young 18-year-olds that come in, they've never voted, you need to be able to lead them by the hand through it. So we always try to help and not make them feel ill at ease or anything along that line. They now have machines that a blind person can vote, a deaf person can vote, a person in a wheelchair can vote, as long as even a blind person can vote without any help at all, because they put a set of headphones on them and they verbally get instructions to what to do. Someone from the poll can, if necessary, one of the poll workers will help them get a feel of what's going on and so forth, and then back away, and they can get a completely valid, clear vote, and which I think is great. Also, if you're 65 years of age or older in the state of Virginia, you can request to vote in your car. And the poll worker then must bring you a ballot and so forth, and the necessary forms and so forth, and let you sit right in your car and vote. I've worked every position in a precinct, from chief down to, you know, first starting out working on the door and so forth. One of the things that we always try to do in our precinct is rotate. You never set someone down at a one point and leave them there all day. You just move around. We have enough workers. We're always able to give breaks. People bring food, so it's always plenty to eat. We have enough people trained on all of the equipment that there's no problem there. So it works out well, I think. It's, I think, rewarding to be able to give back to the community. And there's just not enough people who vote. It just, I don't know, it just amazes me that you see, well, like Iraq and the voting over there, and the people walk for miles and miles. They take a chance on being shot, being blown up, and being so, just for the privilege of voting. It seems like the majority of the people in this country will not go out of their way one iota in order to vote. And, you know, it's one of the privileges we have of living in this country, that we have free elections, and yet the public just doesn't seem to appreciate it. So I think the more things like this that you're doing here to educate the public, educate your students here and others, is great. And I'm all for it, and that's one of the reasons I'm here today.